prep. I mean, fully vetted. I know that you guys make sure that all the animals are fully vetted. They're ready for their forever home. Like you guys do a lot of the grooming, and they look different than they do at the shelter.
Well, that's part of the reason I believe people feel good about adopting from a rescue. Not that they don't feel good about adopting from a shelter, but you can say what you want about a shelter. They do amazing work, but all in all, it's a depressing place. Typically there's not flowers and happy puppies, and it's stressful. The dogs and cats are stressed because they are living in a cage or a kennel, and it's not the most ideal space to see an animal. You don't get to see their best behavior. You don't get to see what they really get to be once you roll them out.
What their potential is. And plus, the shelters, they don't have the resources to make sure the dogs are groomed, to make sure they're fully vetted, to make sure, their personalities are assessed. I mean, they just don't have the resources to do that, and that's the beauty of your location, of your store, because that's already all happened.
Absolutely. And one thing that people sometimes, for us, and I don't know if you've experienced this, but our typical adoption fee for a cat is $150, and then our adoption fee for a dog is $250. So at times, and I know we're getting ready to go to a commercial break, but I'll finish this thought. Many times people are like, well, why are you charging more than the shelter? Well, what they need to realize is we go to our personal vets, we go to our personal groomers, we try to do as much as we can ourselves, and then get socialized. It's all manpower that we have and we spend.
Oh, exactly. It's all the preparation that goes into making them so adoptable.
I think it's time for that commercial break. You're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Do you owe the IRS money? Do you have years of unfiled returns? Has the IRS garnished your wages or put a lien against your house? The IRS has the power to make you pay back what they claim you owe and will stop at nothing to collect. If you are losing sleep over your IRS tax problem, there is a solution. Call Signature Tax now. Speak with our professionals and feel the weight of your tax burden lifted from your shoulders. Call 800-543-1427 for your free and confidential analysis on ending your tax nightmare. We can help get your life back on track and give you the fresh start you deserve. Our A-plus BBB rated tax resolution team has over 125 years of combined experience to get you the best deal possible while stopping the IRS dead in their tracks. Call Signature Tax now at 800-543-1427. Call 800-543-1427. Again, that's 800-543-1427. 800-543-1427.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. We were just talking about everything that goes into, with the rescue, everything that goes into prepping them for their adoption event, for them to be in your store.
As you know, this is what we do is not cheap, and it's not free. We have many volunteers, and we have many people donate their services. But at the end of the day, many of the things that we do, and I'm assuming for you as well, you have to pay money out of your pocket. And yes, we get donations for some of this stuff, but a lot of it we do not. So sometimes people for us, are $250, and it can go up to as much as $450 if we have puppies that we have to get all the spay and neuter, all the vaccines, all the rabies. If we have to pay everything out of pocket for the next, 4 months, it costs a lot of money, and people don't realize that.
Well, I think, it costs money to save lives. And
it does.
So even if people will look at a situation and say, why did you pull this dog? It's a highly adoptable dog. And I recently came across this in my own little adventures. And I said, you know what, that dog, even if it's a highly adoptable dog, and I pulled it out of the shelter, that gives another space. It wasn't adopted. So if I pull it, then that gives a space for the next dog that comes in. It frees up that space for the next dog that inevitably will always be coming in.
And we get that as well. And something I want to say about that is, we can't always take the medical. We can't always take the large breed dogs. We can't always take the sick and the broken. You know, in order for us to sustain ourselves, if those animals are there at the shelter, to me, removing them and opening up the space for the shelter allows the shelter to do their job. I am not a shelter. I'm a rescue. And whatever, I have to get joy out of what I'm doing. And if I don't get joy out of it, I'm always stressed out, and I'm always, you know, if there's no joy at the end of the day, then honestly, there will be no PawWorks, or there would be no Animal Foundation of America. And between you and I, we both pull many, many animals.
Oh, yes.
So I think that's for any rescue, anybody in this field, if you don't get joy out of it, and I don't care what anybody says out there, because there has to be a level of joy. And when people say, well, why don't you pull this? My answer to them is, well, why don't you come take the animal for me? Why don't you foster for me? Why don't you put in the time and the energy that it's going to take my rescue to do it if you feel I should be pulling that animal?
Absolutely. Or are you willing, you know, what are you willing to do? And how can, if a rescue group is doing what they can, they're saving lives, they're emptying up space in that shelter, then really it's like, well, what are you doing? Why don't you open up a rescue? You know? And if you think that it could be done so much better, hey, I'm always open to suggestions.
And you know, I would love to, because today it's on my mind. This week we got a negative Facebook review. And as you are, we're transparent. So I actually would love to read it on the air, because it actually makes me chuckle a little that people have such negative remarks at times about anybody. Because if you're not doing it yourself, then I believe you really don't have it's like if you don't vote, then you don't have anything to say about the presidential candidates or the laws being made. It's like you need to be quiet and sit down. So I don't know how many more minutes.
Not to say that we don't want advocates for animal rights, or we're not saying that, because those people still need to be out there. But for the people that spend their energy and being negative towards a rescue group that is doing everything in their power, everything within their, you know, what they can do to save lives, however they're doing it, unless you're willing to offer your services to help them and change it, then really you're right. I mean, they shouldn't have a voice at all.
Well, so I'm going to read my Facebook post.
Okay.
It makes me chuckle. So I won't say the name, because I don't know if I can get in trouble or not. And if I could say the name, I would, but I'm not sure. So
okay, so we won't. So so what did this person have to say?
It says, Cash Cow Company, horrible presidents and vice presidents, plain out arrogant. They drive Range Rover and Ferrari cars. They brag about how they love animals, but they discriminate against pit bulls. Will never, ever recommend them.
Okay.
So that's the comment. And then my response was, because I saw this, and I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. You must know something about us, but apparently not enough, or you're very misinformed. So my response was, and again, I can't say the name, it says, we are not quite sure where you have gotten your information from. We do not discriminate against any breed. In 2014, PawWorks pulled 42 pit bulls during the 4th of July week. We currently still have one of those dogs in our care. In addition, what we drive personally is no concern of yours. However, you are incorrect. It is a Range Rover and a Bentley.
Oh no. You threw Morgan's Bentley in there.
These cars were bought and paid for with money earned by other businesses, not PawWorks. In fact, President Christina Morgan does not take a salary and has spent nearly $300,000 of her own money to keep PawWorks going. In addition, Vice President Chad Atkins, which is me, does not take a salary and works a minimum of 80 hours per week, making sure PawWorks and its animals are well taken care of. We do not need your recommendation, as our work speaks for itself. We hope that you can direct your energy to doing something good rather than tearing others down.
Well, and I mean, it's very well said, and that's the thing that I've seen them say, that the rescue groups, like, somehow we have to answer to these people. And the thing is, no, we don't. We actually, the fact that you responded to her, we don't have to spend our time responding to these people and what they're doing. And I refer to it, since it's recently been, it's like a rite of passage. Once you really start doing something good, then you get the dark side. I just call them the dark side of rescue. Then you start start getting the dark side of rescue coming after you. And I thought about it, and at first, the very first time it happened to me, I took it so personally, and it was so upsetting because they were saying the dogs were dead, and then the dog, I'm like, she's very much alive and right in front of me. So the first time that happened to me, I did take it very personally. And they've resurfaced recently, because I did pull an adoptable dog, which in my opinion, every dog's adoptable. Senior dogs are adoptable. Medical dogs are adoptable. Little fluffies are adoptable. Every dog is an adoptable dog, in my opinion. But there was a lot of talk because I pulled an adoptable dog that was not at risk of being PTS, put to sleep. And so, to me, it's every dog that's in a shelter is at risk of being put to sleep. And even if it's not that one dog that I pulled, it clears that space, it clears that kennel for the next dog that could be at risk for being put to sleep. So, it's a shelter system. What are they supposed to, what if there's an accidental bite? They don't know. I mean, that doesn't mean that dog would have made it out of that shelter. And
but again, why does it matter? If you're saving an animal and it is near and dear to your heart and you're spending your money, and people out there, when you ask for it and they see what you're doing, donate time, money, whatever it is, why does it matter what you're doing?
Well, I think it's very interesting. They think that they have the right. They feel that because we're a public entity that we have to be completely transparent. Transparency is different than answering to their demands. There's a huge difference in that, and I refuse to get sucked into the negativity and the way that they're taking it. It's like I'm not responding to that.
It sounds like we need to go to commercial break again. So
we are. So
you're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
CRN travelers, relax at the beautiful Fountain Grove Inn and Conference Center in Santa Rosa, California. Come to quality and come to luxury. Experience the newly renovated guest rooms. They're generously sized and they're decorated in the Tuscan tradition. They have great, incredible pillow-top mattresses, luxurious linens, and down-filled comforters. The Fountain Grove Inn also offers complimentary Wi-Fi and internet access. There's warm cookies and coffee every evening in the hotel lobby, and you can visit the newly remodeled Equus Restaurant and Equus Lounge with its new wine bar. It's the ideal place to relax and enjoy a glass of wine and watch our What's Cooking on Wine show on CRN with host Larry Van Alst on Wednesdays. It's the Fountain Grove Inn, Hotel, and Conference Center located in the heart of Sonoma wine country. It's easily located in Santa Rosa off the 101 Fountain Grove Parkway exit. Call 707-578-6101. That's 707-578-6101 or visit fountaingroveinn.com.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. With one phone call, you'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information. It's a free service, so call now.
Call now, 800-704-6182. 800-704-6182.
You know, they say in life we should savor and slow down and enjoy things. That's what our hosts Steve Andrews and Sally James do on Slow Living Radio. They do everything slowly, and they do it for you Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m., Tuesdays at 11 p.m., and Monday nights at 7 p.m. It's Slow Living Radio, the best in food, the best in entertainment, the best in drinks, including great wine. All with Sally James and Steve Andrews. Slow Living Radio on CRN.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. So we were just talking a little bit about the way other rescues, or I don't say rescues because they're not rescues, they're people, individuals, and how they can be. And I just want to remind everyone, feel free to call in if you have any opinion and if you'd like to join in the conversation, or you know what, I even encourage those that have this to say. If you want an open forum, I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions.
Yes,
our
please.
call-in number here is 818-353-1276. And if you'd like to join the conversation, or maybe just explain to us what your purpose is, because then a rescue group is spending their time answering to the negativity or answering to the dark side of rescue versus taking care of the animals, which is our priority.
So I want to go back a little bit, and then we can get on to happier things. In the past few weeks, I feel like we've been harping on this because, there's so many ups and downs of rescue. But I know you said earlier that, you have just learned to just push it away. You do what you need to do. We do the same, but I have to say for us, because we have grown quickly, that we find it a need for us to respond to these people simply because, I want people to know. If you have something that you want to help me with, please. I'm all for suggestions. What I'm not for is the negative, remarks. I feel the need to. It's not because I'm arrogant or I feel like I'm right. It's because I think I need to educate you. And probably as time passes and PowerWorks gets larger, I won't have the time, or I won't care as much, and I'll realize that we are doing enough. But right now, because we have grown in Ventura County and we're starting to expand out into Santa Barbara area and LA area, that we want people to know that what we're here for is good. And if we're always open to suggestions, we're always open for you to come and help us if you think you want me to pull pit bulls, if you think I discriminate. And it's not that I don't discriminate. I currently don't have a facility to in.
It's harder. Look, I have Millie and Freddie right now. They were both medical cases, young puppies. I mean, Millie is about a year. Freddie's about 9 months old. They were both medical cases. So Freddie was attacked by another dog, broken leg, and a puncture wounds, obviously, because he was attacked by another dog. He was going to be PTS at a shelter. Millie was turned in with, she was lactating with no pups. And her teats actually burst. And so she was at risk more than one time of being put to sleep. And they're both now young pit bulls that are highly adoptable, amazing kids. And medical's all been cleared up, and it takes me longer. Even though they're like poster children for the breed, then they're still going to be with me longer. And that's the thing, it's like they can try to go on the attack with you, but you have one you've had for over a year.
Oh yeah.
So,
and you know what? We are now going to be moving to a new trainer. This trainer has graciously decided to donate her services. It's Lisa Hoekstra.
Awesome.
She worked great wonders with our dog Princess, who was the shepherd who was mauled, and we never thought her face would be back. The eye socket was out, but everything worked out well. She worked with this young pup, and her methods worked wonders. So she's donated her services for Kona, which she's probably going to go next week, and we'll probably spend, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks there, and hopefully, but people don't realize what it takes. I mean, a year's worth, $500, $600, because again, we don't have a place, we don't have a home we can put large breed dogs. They go into boarding, $500 or $600 a month just for boarding. And then you ask, well, why don't places give you discounts? I don't know. And they do.
And they do, but it still all adds up. Exactly.
So it's like, well, why don't you go ask them and have them, or open your own place so I can have my dogs for free? I don't have all the answers. I just do what I need to do for these animals.
So we do have a caller on the line. We're going to get back to her right after we come back from commercial break. But she's someone that has been she's a private party. And I really want to get her take on this because she's not in the rescue world. She does what she can to try to help. She's helped Animal Foundation of America with different things. And I want to bring her into the conversation because again, she's a private individual, living her life, doing what she can, just to assist in the rescue world. And she recently, there was a lot of negativity towards her. Because she was supporting a rescue group and their efforts. And so I want to make sure as soon as we come back from break, we're gonna get her on the line and just get, she's not in the rescue world. Get an individual's opinion, which
is wonderful. So it sounds like commercial break again.
Yes, it is.
So you're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
CRN travelers, relax at the beautiful Fountain Grove Inn and Conference Center in Santa Rosa, California. Come to quality and come to luxury. Experience the newly renovated guest rooms. They're generously sized and they're decorated in the Tuscan tradition. They have great, incredible pillow-top mattresses, luxurious linens, and down-filled comforters. The Fountain Grove Inn also offers complimentary Wi-Fi and internet access. There's warm cookies and coffee every evening in the hotel lobby, and you can visit the newly remodeled Equus Restaurant and Equus Lounge with its new wine bar. It's the ideal place to relax and enjoy a glass of wine and watch our What's Cooking on Wine show on CRN with host Larry Van Alst on Wednesdays. It's the Fountain Grove Inn, Hotel, and Conference Center located in the heart of Sonoma wine country. It's easily located in Santa Rosa off the 101 Fountain Grove Parkway exit. Call 707-578-6101. That's 707-578-6101 or visit fountaingrovinn.com.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to go to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Good afternoon, Mr. Phelps. Southern California is inundated with restaurants vying to vanquish Columbo's, and none have succeeded. Your mission, Jim, is to further enlighten the populace regarding Columbo's and their absolutely delicious steaks. Seafood so fresh it'll make you blush. Family Italian specialties that put the competition to shame. Jazz every night along with their world-renowned meatballs. The code words for this assignment, Mission Impasta Visual. As always, should you or any of the force be caught, the Secretary will disavow any knowledge of your actions, but looks forward to seeing you at that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's. This disc will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Good luck, Jim, and manja.
Are you worried about losing your home to foreclosure? If you've been threatened with foreclosure or received legal papers from your bank, you have approximately 30 days to respond. If you do not respond, you could lose your home. You have rights. Act now to protect your rights. You can stay in your home. Many times you can even modify your loan. The bottom line is you can get past this, but you must act right now. If you've been served by your bank and you're worried about losing your home to foreclosure, now is the time to fight back and save your home. Time is limited, so call the professionals at National Foreclosure Defense right now.
800-515-6309. 800-515-6309. 800-515-6309. 800-515-6309. That number again is 800-515-6309. Are you nearing eligibility for Medicare benefits? Then you know now is an important time in your life. Medicare benefits can be a complicated puzzle. You don't want to overpay for your Medicare coverage or get the wrong plan. Let Health Markets Insurance Agency help you. With one free phone call, a licensed insurance agent will help you select a Medicare plan that's right for you and your budget. If you're becoming eligible for Medicare, call today and learn how to get the most out of your benefits.
800-793-1960. 800-793-1960.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA or assumed name of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., which is an authorized insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Not all agents are licensed to sell all products. Service and product availability varies by state.
Call 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. So I'm here with Chad. He's on the line, and we have Tanya. So we had talked about briefly before we went to break about Tanya. So again, she's a private party, and she is supportive of different rescue groups. And so Tanya from La Cañada, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi, Christina. How are you?
Good. And we've got Chad, too. He's here.
Hello, Tanya.
Hi. Well, heard the intro, so please keep me on point if I deviate. Because
It's okay. We deviate all the time. Feel free to deviate.
Yeah, that's true. You have an hour to fill, right? I am a private individual. I love animals. I've always adopted seniors. Somebody gave me 2 puppies the last time who are now 10 and a half. So animals have always been a special part of my life. The issue is I don't have the mental strength to see the animals in the situations at the towns, at the pet stores when they have adoption days. I can't go because it's too hard on me as an individual.
Just emotionally, because you just want to save them all. So
I can't do it. Yeah, my heart just hurts for everything, and so I've controlled it for years. I mean, I'm 53 now. So I got introduced to this, and I got on Facebook somehow, and I somehow got introduced to Marley's Mutts.
Okay, out of Kern County. Mm-hmm.
And who I've been extremely impressed with. But the first comments I heard about Zach of Marley's Mutts was totally negative. He's all into himself. He's got to be the face of the organization, etc. And I was thinking, well, somebody has to. Somehow you've got to get the word out. Somehow there has to be a face behind everything, because otherwise someone like me, I'm uneducated. I didn't know this rescue network existed.
Yeah, the world out there, like the different people in rescue. There's good rescues. There's not so good rescue. I mean, so you're just the average person, and you're just coming into the rescue world.
In every rescue needs a
rescue support world. I am not in the rescue world.
Right. Okay. So the rescue support world. Yes.
Yeah. So it's been interesting, but my big thing was, gosh darn it, I forgot. But recently, it was the vitriol of the people that have started telling me where to put my money, which I've found very comical. And so there's 2 sides to rescue. You guys have to raise money. It's not free. What you do is not free. Somebody has to pay that vet because that vet has to pay for its medicine. It's got to pay for its tax, etc. So I read all these posts, please save this puppy, please. And I think it's wonderful that people support, but unfortunately, that doesn't pay the bills. And I'm in business. So you guys can be the emotional side, but somebody's got to be on that business side. And
you're exactly correct. And I think one of the key things here, and this just happened with Chad also, and I know, Tanya, that you experienced some of this as well. They might say to Chad, why are you charging $250 when I can adopt it at the shelter for $150? And there is, like you said, the business aspect. There's a lot that goes through, like a lot that we do as a rescue to prepare that animal to find its forever home.
Exactly. Our like you, Christina, our animals don't stay in the kennel like at a shelter for most of its life there. We actually get out. We hold the animals. They get to play. They get to be on the sun, in the sunshine. They get to be on the grass. They get socialized with other animals and people. So that isn't free.
And they get groomed. They get vetted. They're medically vetted. I mean, the shelter's limited on resources.
Yes.
So I'm not attacking the shelters. It's there's only what they can do. They're limited on funding.
Yes.
So the shelter's limited on funding, and the rescue groups take it to the next step. So we do what needs to happen, and that also takes funding.
And you're like the nursing home of the medical society. The doctor, the hospital can do only so much. Then you go to rehab, or you go to a nursing home, or you go to hospice. So
exactly.
You're that extension of the shelters who do an amazing job. I couldn't do what they do either. But the big thing to me is you guys also, you test that animal for me. You take it for a test drive. You tell me, is it good with cats? You tell me, how does it do with other animals? It's a little iffy for young males, but, a senior is great. You do all of that for me. So I'm not adopting blind. Sure, all of our animals have personalities, but you guys do a lot of that work for me. You take it to the vet. You take it to the dental. When I get it, I get a healthy animal, or old or whatever. But
well, right. And so even the seniors, because we do adopt out seniors, or we find forever hospice homes for our seniors, but they're medically treated before they go into that home.
Well, and then if they're fosters, we cover the medical for the rest of its life. I mean, I have about 45 animals right now that are in foster that, if they need anything, food, a vet appointment, we cover that. 99% of the time, fosters are amazing and they treat the animals exactly like theirs. So they'll cover a simple vet run for something, or they'll pay. Most of them pay for their own dog food. I don't ask for it. I would happily give them, the dog food and all the vet treatment. But many times fosters really start treating the animal like their own, which is amazing for us. But we put that on the line that we will pay for that for the rest of their life.
Oh, yeah. But I think it's important for you guys to respond, but cut it short. Don't keep going on and on with the change. I think what one person did was just cut it out. She was controlling the message board. She just said enough's enough. I think you guys do need to do a response to some of this negativity, because they can sour the water. And some of these people, it was just amazing to me. And they do such good. And I didn't understand why they were going so negative, because they brought one of the dogs to my attention, who then was brought to Christina's attention at Animal Foundation. So, and the dog was pulled. So, look at Master Splinter. How do you think Master Splinter got to where he is? With a rescue. Master Splinter's Marley's
Mutt's dog. But it's like you bring it comes to someone's attention, and then they come into our lives. And so that's the difference. Networkers are great. I think networking the dogs are fantastic. But you also, it's like all the work then is done by that rescue group after the dog is pulled from the county shelter system.
Exactly. It doesn't go away.
And then that rescue group has taken full responsibility for that animal, for the life of that animal.
It sounds like we have to do commercial break again.
We can
come back to that right after the break. But you're listening to Rescue Radio.
We'll come right back to you, Tanya.
Digital Talk.
Do you owe the IRS money? Do you have years of unfiled returns? Has the IRS garnished your wages or put a lien against your house? The IRS has the power to make you pay back what they claim you owe and will stop at nothing to collect. If you are losing sleep over your IRS tax problem, there is a solution. Call Signature Tax now. Speak with our professionals and feel the weight of your tax burden lifted from your shoulders. Call 800-543-1427 for your free and confidential analysis on ending your tax nightmare. We can help get your life back on track and give you the fresh start you deserve. Our A-plus BBB rated tax resolution team has over 125 years of combined experience to get you the best deal possible while stopping the IRS dead in their tracks. Call Signature Tax now at 800-543-1427. Call 800-543-1427. Again, that's 800-543-1427. 800-543-1427.
Let me take just a moment or two, if I may, and talk about a great place to eat. That's right. For you folks anywhere in the eastern San Fernando Valley, drop into Bob's Big Boys. That's right. In Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. Now, everybody remembers the name Bob's. They're getting bigger and bigger every day. And little old Bob carrying the hamburger in his checkered overalls is the same Bob that you remember from back through the years. And, of course, if you want to go in for a great lunch, remember their classic burger, the original double-deck hamburger combination. Delicious 100% pure ground beef in 2 patties with American cheese, lettuce, and our famous Big Boy special sauce. The name is Bob, and I think when you go in, you'll say, by golly, I'm sure glad that I found this restaurant because it's good for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They've got all kinds of things, and all you have to do is remember. Bob's Big Boy in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. It's a great place to eat.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. And so we're just talking about logistics of rescue and what happens. And there is the dark side of rescue, those that would choose to bash or be very negative about a rescue group instead of being part of the solution. It's a very tough situation to deal with the lives of these animals because they are in our hands once we pull them from the shelters. And then,
we have Tanya on the line who is an animal supporter. And what she does is she doesn't do rescue, but she typically adopts senior animals. That's where her heart is. And you were telling us, Tanya, before we went to commercial break, that you basically can't do what a rescuer does. You can't go into the shelter. You can't go to these adoption events because it breaks your heart.
It's
emotionally
too
draining for you. So what you do is you are online or you're networking or you see an animal that touches your heart, and that's where you dedicate your time and your money to.
Correct. So I don't want to be a gripe fest, but I do disagree with something you guys said earlier where when your response was, well, why don't you open a rescue? I think I'm seeing there's so many quote-unquote rescues out there. What I like about AFA, and I don't know your organization as well, Chad, is the networking. And that's so critical is I wish that more of these independent rescues networked and it wasn't so quote-unquote competitive because you guys could do, as a combined force, to me, so much good.
Yes,
and
if we work
help
together.
each other. Resources. If somebody has extra fencing, give it to the next guy. Or, hey, we did this drip system when it was hot. This saved us a lot of money.
And I do have to stop you there, Tanya. If you know, you don't know Paul Works, but I know you know Animal Foundation of America, and we both do network each other, and we do help each other out. I mean,
we work together. Paul Works and Animal Foundation.
We personally work together ourselves, and I work with other rescues in my area. The problem is you're right. It does. What happens is a lot of rescues don't work together. It's very ego-driven, for one thing, and then also rescues feel like there's limited funds out there. So it's like any business. Sometimes you get a little catty. And it's not, I mean, it's not the way we are. We would love to work with every rescue in our area. However, not every rescue wants to work with us. So I do agree in the sense that you say, about not opening a rescue like that. I agree. We don't want everybody opening a rescue because we would have horrible hoarding cases. We would have people who shouldn't be having animals have animals. I do agree with you on that. I think we say that in jest because it like you scoff at people that tell you how to spend your money when it's your personal money. We're the same way. We scoff at people who tell us without helping us what to do with our money and what to do with our time. If you're helping us, I'm all open to suggestions. I'm all open to changing a procedure or pulling this dog or that dog, but I need the help. That's why we say that. It's more in jest than we actually mean it. I really don't want all those rescues out there.
Well, and the dark side, I don't want them touching the rescues. It's like, okay, just post some comments on someone else's thread or something. But no, I wouldn't want animals in their home. But
you do make a good point in bringing that to us what we said, because I think we have to make it clear that we say it more in jest than actually meaning it. It's more a frustration of like, okay, like you, it's like someone telling you to go buy this product when you like product B. And you're like, well, why? I don't have to spend my money there, or I don't have to go shop there. It's the same concept for us. You just get frustrated by someone telling you what to do with your own resources.
And you guys are in a hard business. And I understand, but I also think you guys have to pull adoptable dogs because they pay the bills. Maybe they don't need as much vetting, but you can adopt them out at the same rate. And they haven't needed that $1,000. So that $300 adoption fee might pay for that other guy's cost overrun. So ultimately, you have to think of that. So,
well, and it's for the better.
And every animal needs a home.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what was, one of the posts was, why did you pull this dog? It could have stayed in the pound. And pull this, I'm thinking, what? Who wants the dog to stay in the pound? She pulled the dog. So,
well, and how can you wish that on the dog? The dog is now safe. The dog is comfortable in a home. It's getting love. It's getting attention. So how can you wish that on the dog? Like, how is that fair to the animal? And the key thing is too, that dog is now out of the system, and so now there's a spot for another, because there's a never-ending supply of dogs coming into the shelter. But now there's room for that dog. So
and fosters are critical. I mean, you guys said it. It's one thing, pull that dog. My response sometimes, and I don't like to get into it, the politics of it, is where are they going to put the dog? Are you a foster? Do you have room? Because it's one thing to pull. What do you do with it?
Yes.
I mean, you mentioned boarding. Well, really, a dog really just wants to sit there. No. Get them out, but it wants a family.
It's not an ideal situation.
So that's the thing.
It keeps
network
exactly. It keeps them alive, because in the shelter they very possibly would have been put to sleep. It keeps the dog alive, but boarding is not the ideal situation. It's not perfect. It keeps them alive. But then we always want to move them on to find their forever home or find a foster home. So that's always our priority. And it's a matter of, I mean, really, if the people that are spending so much time criticizing the shelter, criticizing the rescue, or, what's happening, if they spent that same time trying to put together a foster group, go through their neighborhood or their friends or their people that they're spending so much time, and put together a foster group for that rescue, so the rescue can do more work and pull more dogs and do more things for them. That's what I would encourage them to do.
And I know you're going to go to commercial. Are you able to support the shelters on grooming and things? So if we were to fund money through you guys, can you get these dogs groomed so that they show better?
Let's go back to that thought when you come
back.
It sounds like we're on commercial break. So you're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool, indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha. Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to go to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Good afternoon, Mr. Phelps. Southern California is inundated with restaurants vying to vanquish Columbo's, and none have succeeded. Your mission, Jim, is to further enlighten the populace regarding Columbo's and their absolutely delicious steaks. Seafood so fresh it'll make you blush. Family Italian specialties that put the competition to shame. Jazz every night along with their world-renowned meatballs. The code words for this assignment, Mission Impossible. As always, should you or any of the force be caught, the Secretary will disavow any knowledge of your actions, but looks forward to seeing you at that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's. This disc will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Good luck, Jim, and manja.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Hi, I'm Dr. Parthenia Grant. Tune into my show, Divine Love Talk, where you will learn secrets to longevity and health, ways to move into oneness, discover powerful tools to gain victory over self-sabotage, and get enlightened about relationships. So tune in to CRN for Divine Love Talk right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
So tune in to CRN1 for Divine Love Talk, Mondays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. So Tanya asked a very important question, and I want to address that.
Yes, so do I. So let's reiterate, Tanya. You were saying that if people funneled or the public funneled funds through a rescue like us, could we provide services such as grooming or other things for the shelter? Am I understanding you correctly?
Actually, we lost Tanya, but I do want to, just because I am a volunteer with the LA County system, yes. I want to be very specific with this. So they have rules because in the shelter system, you don't want to ever put a dog at risk of getting himself in trouble, because things that can happen in a private rescue are much different than the county system, like what they have to report. If a dog accidentally scratches, is playing, and I've seen this happen where a puppy jumped up and he has those little razor sharp puppy teeth, and if he breaks skin, then he has to go on a 10-day quarantine. The rules are much, much different in the shelter system versus in a rescue system, because a rescue group is going to understand, like, he wasn't being aggressive. He was playing, and he's got puppy teeth. And so, but county shelter, they have rules, and they have to be the same across the board, whether it's a puppy, whether it's a senior, whether it's a blind dog,
correct.
Whatever it is, they have procedures, and you don't want that dog going on quarantine because then he has a bite record on it. So even if he just he broke skin because his little teeth scratched your hand as he jumped up, it's still a bite because he broke skin, and he would be on quarantine, and he would have a bite on his record for his life. So
that is correct, and I know we only have a few minutes left, so there's that point of it. But I will say there are ways to funnel money and to specify if you want it going directly, especially for rescues that work directly with a shelter, which you and I both do. Mm-hmm. For instance, in July or June, we sponsored an event, a spay and neuter event at the shelter, and it was only for the shelter animals. It was not for the animals that, from the public. What we did is, in order to help clear the shelter out faster, we spay and neuter to their animals, because if people don't know this, most of the time animals in the shelter, they don't get spay and neutered until they are adopted.
Right.
If you're lucky enough, they're already spay and neutered, and you can take them home immediately. However, usually it's a 2 to 3 day process.
And sometimes in some shelters it can be even longer.
Yes. So we sponsored this. So that was one way that the public, and we utilized the funds to do this, because we knew 4th of July we weren't going to be able to handle another 42 pit bulls like the previous year. So we wanted to hit the core, which is overpopulation and breeding. So we sponsored. So there are ways to do it. However, between you and I, we're both so busy with our rescues, it's very difficult to go and spend. You dedicate at least every Friday to Agora Shelter most of the time, and you spend time working with the animals.
I'm a groomer. Yes. So it is something that I do. So if there are people who want to help, just get, clipper blades. Like, I am an LA County I'm LA County volunteer. I'm in their volunteer system. So I do grooming with the dogs that are there. So I encourage people, even if they want to help with, clipper blades.
So, Christina, it actually sounds like our show is over. So
oh no, we ran out of time today.
And we're still talking. So, if you want to follow PawWorks, we're on Facebook, online, pawworks.org. You can call our store 805 852-1744 to get a hold of Animal Foundation America. How do you do it, Christina?
Okay, so in order to get you can follow us on Facebook, Animal Foundation of America. You can also, I encourage people, if you have questions, to call in here every week at the radio show for us. 818-353-1276 is the phone number here. And my personal cell phone, anyone out there that has questions for me personally, is 805-558-5240.
Let's give both of them. And my personal cell phone is 805-616-4101. Do we have any seconds left?
You know what, we do. We have a few more seconds. And what I want to do is I want to make sure and thank everyone out there that supports a local rescue group. If you're being supportive, you're being proactive, I want to say thank you to you and everything you're doing.
Absolutely. So. All of our sponsors, our adopters, our volunteers, our fosters, everybody, we couldn't do it without them.
So they're great. And thank you for listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Which was most important because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this? What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Robert Conrad Show, The What's Cooking Show, and The What's Cooking on Wine Show, all in true CRN HD audio. Sports, business, travel, food, wine, politics, there is something for everyone, and it's all available in CRN High Definition Sound. Log on to www.crntalk for listings and information on all your favorite shows. That's www.crntalk.com.
The radio channels. The radio channels. CRN.
Yep. With SRN News, I'm Ron DeRockstra. President Obama called the 3 Americans who helped subdue a would-be attacker on an Amsterdam to Paris train heroes. Anthony Sadler tells Sky News that he still can't believe what happened on that train.
I came to see my friends on my first trip in Europe, and we stopped a terrorist. It's kind of crazy.
Airman Spencer Stone was treated for a hand injury. No one else was injured. Police have the suspect, a 26-year-old Moroccan man, in custody. Also at srnnews.com. Courtesy of DNF, the sound of protesters throwing bottles on the street, exploding fireworks during clashes between German police and dozens of right-wing protesters in front of a new asylum shelter near Dresden in eastern Germany. Up to 600 migrants are expected to find shelter in the former warehouse. Some 800,000 refugees are expected in Germany this year, by far the most in the 28-nation European Union. Plunging oil prices giving travelers a break as summer driving season winds down. Oil analyst Patrick DeHaan of GasBuddy.com says gasoline prices are likely to drop through the fall as demand slows and refineries clear up problems and get ready to switch to cheaper winter grades.
Today we have about 500 stations across the country under $2 a gallon. By Christmas, I would expect that number to be tens of thousands of stations.
GasBuddy.com puts the average price of a gallon of regular at $2.61 nationwide. That's more than 80 cents cheaper than a year ago. Officials in Washington state hope an easing winds forecast for today will allow them to get a better handle on severe wildfires that have driven thousands from their homes. Firefighting resources are so strained, fire officials plan to provide basic fire training to about 200 volunteers who have machinery so they can help dig fire lines. This is SRN News.
2 little tablets is all it takes to get thicker, fuller hair, guaranteed. Viviscal is the #1 drug-free hair growth supplement in the U.S., with 1 box being sold every minute globally. It's clinically proven, loved by celebrities, and recommended by doctors. And right now, a 90-day supply of Viviscal is being offered in your area risk-free plus free shipping. Call 800-481-7987. Viviscal nourishes thinning hair from within. It makes thin hair full hair beautiful, and promotes the growth of thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Viviscal is so effective, 96% of women would recommend it to a friend. Listen to this.
It's vibrant, shiny, bouncy, everything you want your hair to be. I love Viviscal because it works. It completely works.
Want to try Viviscal? Every listener that calls can try it risk-free for 90 days, plus free shipping. Get thicker, fuller hair guaranteed. Call now, 800-481-7987. 800-481-7987. That's 800-481-7987.
A California judge is vacating an earlier restraining order keeping a pro-life group from releasing secretly recorded Planned Parenthood videos.
Centerville, California, however, says it will seek a stay of the restraining order at the appeals level. The controversy surrounds surreptitiously recorded discussions with Planned Parenthood officials, which provide fetal tissue from unborn babies for research and money. Judge Joanne O'Donnell says STEM Express doesn't trump the First Amendment rights of pro-life group, the Center for Medical Progress, from releasing the videos. After the ruling, the center immediately released another video. Keith Peters reporting.
Georgia's flag flying at half-staff today to honor the late civil rights leader Julian Bond, who died last Saturday at age 75. Relatives plan to scatter his ashes in the Gulf of Mexico in a private ceremony today. Bond was a civil rights trailblazer and the top post at NAACP. This is SRN News. A new government survey shows most states have parking shortages for trucks, posing a safety concern. We get more from correspondent Linda Kenyon.
Almost half of the state transportation departments surveyed by the Federal Highway Administration said truckers are forced to park in unsafe places like freeway interchange ramps and highway shoulders and vacant lots. Officials say this poses an additional concern because truck drivers who are tired might continue to drive if they have trouble finding safe parking places to rest. The survey also found more than 75% of truck drivers reported regularly experiencing problems with finding safe parking when they needed rest. Linda Kenyon, Washington.
The drought-stricken northern Caribbean preparing for some heavy rain as weakening Hurricane Danny approaches Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Danny's now a Category 1 hurricane. More details at srnnews.com. I'm Rhonda Rockstrom.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618. Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD, host of Healthline. Xeno-X is a vital, safe, food-rich source of iodine, essential for thyroid health and for women, life-critical for healthy reproductive system and healthy breasts. Buy 2 bottles, get the third one free. Call 800-370-3447. That's 800-370-3447.
Listen to Healthline daily at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on CRN.
Radio on CRN.
Welcome, everybody, to the Wednesday edition of the PM Show. I'm Paul Stern, in today for Fred Dreyer and Michael Horn. They'll be back with us next week on the Wednesday edition. Glad to have you with us, though. We got a spectacular, just a blockbuster program in store for you today. It's an incredible show. We have a member of what I believe to be the greatest generation. And I'm not talking, please, World War II era people don't take any offense, but I'm talking about the baseball generation. The greatest baseball generation, at least in my mind. The 1960s, the 70s, even the 80s. This guy, can we talk about a career that spanned 3 decades? Unbelievable. We have him here with us today. Who am I referring to? Well, according to Wikipedia, and I'm going to tell you in advance, I consider this to be a bit of an understatement. He was known as a versatile outfielder with a good sense of humor. Jay Johnstone, welcome to the PM Show weekend edition, the Wednesday edition. Thank you so much for joining us. Glad to have you here with us today.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to come on.
Unbelievable.
Fun to talk baseball.
Now, what an understatement. I mean, a versatile outfielder. Tell us a little bit about kind of how your career got started. Jay Johnstone, everybody, for those that you don't know, a great ball player, played for a bunch of teams, had a great career, and, of course, he was known, I guess you built up something of a reputation as a clubhouse prankster as well.
Well, there was some of that. We had a little fun doing that, but over the years I had some pretty good help, with Jerry Royce and a couple other guys, and Don Stanhouse. But I grew up in West Covina and played Little League and Pony League and American Legion ball.